getting beautiful every day.
Talaga.
Oo naman.
I like it.
Oo naman, from the, tawag ito, nung batang Julie, ha? Hanggang ngayon, talagang I've really seen the progress physically, spiritually, emotionally. Anyway, I'm so happy kasi we're doing this. And
Yes.
for so many, tawag nito, sa dami ng panahon na interview ka, ayan. Pangalawa
Yes.
pa lang ata ito, hindi naman marami.
Really?
No.
I can't even remember the first time I was interviewed.
So again, kamusta ka, Chi?
I am good.
Alright.
I am, what is this? I'm getting by just fine. Ganon.
Alright. So ilang taong ka na nga ba, nasa praise and worship team ng Palo Christian Church?
The truth is, I really cannot count. Di ko alam.
Yes.
Basta, I can't remember when I really started, kung kailan talaga yung exact or specific time when I started. But I started when I was very young. Elementary pa yun eh.
Pero pag nag-start ng Palo Christian Church, dito na talaga kayo nag-church?
I would say yes. Well, I was dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say nga na I was born in a Christian mom.
Wow.
Kasi hindi naman yung father ko Christian eh. Pero I was dedicated right away when I was, I guess, very, very young. And then I could remember naman na when I was really young, batang batang Sunday school at saka daily vacation Bible school.
Balikan natin yung pinakauna. Yung bakit nagustuhan mo or what pushed you to become a member of praise and worship team ng Palo Christian Church?
Sa totoo lang, there's no grand reason. I guess looking back, kasi bata pa ako nun eh. Looking back, there's no grand reason why I joined the praise and worship team, Chi. I think one of the motivations for me was just my friends were all doing it. So like sina Nesline, Leslie, sina Gigi.
Wala influence ni Mama.
Wala namang influence ng mother ko. Lahat kasi sila ginagawa eh. Sina Cheryl, you were also there.
Yes.
So, why don't I join? Parang ganon. So, lahat kami ng Sunday school girls were doing it eh. So, and I can dance. So, I thought, why shouldn't I join this? So, I also thought, of course, na it's one way of serving the Lord through dance. But most of the reason siguro was very, very shallow. And that was because I want to do this because my friends are doing it.
Pero
Ganun lang naman.
I remembered na sumasali ka sa mga youth camp na about singing, like singing contest and everything. Pero bakit hindi singing? Bakit hindi agad sa singing ka na pumasok? Bakit tambourine dance muna?
In all honesty, to be honest, there was one time in that singing competition where I messed up so bad. So, although most of the singings I went to, nananalo naman, no? And actually, Pastora Nancy would also bring me to crusades, tapos pinapakanta rin niya ako. Pero, siguro, sabi ko nga, it was more of the friends. Because if it was singing, I was alone in the singing. No one from my friends was doing the singing.
Alright.
So, sabi ko, yung training rin kasi ng tambourine dancing, mayroon yun eh. But there was none for the singing. So, tsaka lahat ng friends ko ginagawa yung dancing. So, I thought, I'll just pursue dancing because anyway, I like dancing rin naman.
Yes. So what happened? Bakit nga napunta doon sa sa pagiging from tambourinist to becoming backup singer?
Well, it started with Ate Marivic, Pastora Marivic telling me, Jul, I need a backup this Sunday kasi kulang ng backup singers. And since she know I could sing, so she just right away told me na I could be the backup singer. So ako naman, without thinking too much, kasi I was thinking one time lang yun. So I said, okay, go ahead, let's do this.
Alright. Is there a change of heart na parang, Lord, dito ba talaga ako tinawag in singing? Or talagang gusto mo na ba talaga akong parang kunin from tambourine dancing and then becoming a singer?
You know, maybe because I was young, it really didn't occur to me that way. Pero parang inisip ko na lang, sabi mo nga, this is a promotion. Parang ganun pa. Parang from dancing to singing up on stage, promotion siya. But I didn't really take it na parang, Lord, is this your calling for me? Am I just going to sing? Hindi na ba talaga ako sasayaw? No. parang for me during that time, I thought about being on stage, being a backup singer, and being a dancer was all the same.
Alright.
Was all the same for me. So, kahit hindi ako sumayaw, pero nagbabackup naman ako, okay lang. So, it really didn't occur to me na hindi na ako sasayaw, I will be sad. I will
Yes.
be singing instead.
Yes. So parang sa'yo, pareho lang.
Parang pareho lang naman. Parang walang pagkakaiba.
Alright. So, pag nung mga panahon na yon, kasi nga, after backup singing, parang pinapag-lead ka na rin ni Ate Marivic, di ba? So, what was in your mind those times na, ano ba to, parang yung, ewan ko lang, kasi ako kapag, syempre nakikita ko yung nagli-lead, diba? Super nakakakaba. And I believe until now, kinakabahan ka
Very.
whenever you lead, diba?
Very.
So, when the first time Ate Yvette told you na, Julie, magli-lead ka, nag-hesitate ka ba? Or excite ka ba?
I was very, very hesitant.
Alright.
And masyado akong ninervyos. And I didn't want it. I actually told Ate Vic, no, I can't do this. Hindi pa ako handa.
Yes.
I'm not worthy. All those things, all those excuses.
Yes.
But then, Ate Vic is, this might sound negative, very pushy, pero it was somehow positive. She pushed you to your limits, and when I did that, on that very first worship leading, sabi niya, di ba, nakaya naman?
Yes.
And I could, maybe during that time, because I was already aging, so during that time, I already know in my heart that somehow, this is the path for me. I would also be leading worship. So
Wow.
everybody has his or her first time. So I said, kung hindi ngayon, kailan pa?
Yes.
So I should just take it.
Alright.
Grab
So
the
what were
first
your
time.
preparations then? Siyempre, diba? First time, so parang, I believe meron ka mga ginawa bago mangyari yon yung first time mo mag-lead.
I prayed so hard.
Wow.
I prayed so
Alright.
hard na that people would see Jesus in me as I lead and not myself. Ganun yun. Because it was hard to be yourself on stage, to lead people. It was very hard. So I just prayed na, that the Lord would be seen in me instead
Gaano
and
ba yun
not me.
ka-importante para sa'yo?
It's very, very important because if it's you if it's you lang, you can make a lot of mistakes and you can be, you can be self-conscious about how you deliver, how you lead. Pero
Yes.
iba yun if it's God. I mean, if they see God in you, it doesn't matter kung yung pronunciation, it
Yes,
doesn't matter if the
yes.
lyrics is wrong. It doesn't matter how many
Yes.
times you repeat the first stanza or the second stanza or even the chorus. If God is there, if the leading of the Holy Spirit is there, everything just takes place. I mean,
Wow.
it falls through. Parang ganyan.
Alright. For you, kasi I've seen you talaga leading worship and marami yung napakinggan ko positive na mga comments about you leading worship.
Thank
and
you
one,
for that.
Parang isa ka, parang yun nga, like the hand signs and everything. Parang paano mo yun, paano ka na, did you take time na i-learn yung mga ganun? Kasi di ba, parang during those time, ewan ko kung na-seminar ka ba ni Ate Marivic?
No, wala.
Or
There
yun.
was no seminar with Ate Marivic, pero Ate Marivic would always teach during the
It's like
practice.
Ate Yvette mentored you really. Parang
Ganon.
one-on-one na mentoring.
And I guess, I would normally observe
Alright.
Ate Marivic. So, whatever the hand signs are, I would always observe how she does it, si Ate Marivic, because she's the, di ba?
So
She's the model.
nung first time, alam mo na yon. First time na nag-lead ka, parang may ano ka na nun, yung mga technicalities ng worship leading.
There was nothing, I guess. There was nothing. Parang parang you'd really have to practice how you're going to do that the
Yes.
next day.
Alright.
Parang whatever yung napag-practicean nyo yung gabi, you're gonna have to do that exactly the same way the next day. Kasi wala pang hand signs noon I think lang I cannot really remember.
Yes.
Oo.
Pero eventually, nung tumatagal na yung worship lead ka, parang di ba may naririnig tayo na as the Spirit leads.
Yes,
So
yes.
what you practiced on Saturday, di ba medyo
May not really
mga
happen.
Yan,
Oo.
Nangyari na ba yun sa'yo? Like,
Oo
when,
naman.
Mhm.
Oo naman.
Mm.
And I guess that's the best thing about about praise and worship and letting the Lord, letting the Spirit lead.
Alright.
Kasi it's not you anymore.
Yes.
It's God.
Wow.
And it's His work and not yours. So parang you just go with the flow
Mm-mm.
on what God wants you to do.
And I think that's very important thing na parang i-take ng bawat worship leader, right? Na
Yes.
it's not about you anymore. When you come into the platform leading worship, parang hindi na ikaw, si Lord na. Well, anyway,
Uh-huh.
yun, dami na natin
Pag-usapan. Okay.
Alright, for so many years na you've been a part of Praise and Worship team, I believe hindi naging smooth ang journey. Alright. So, sa tagal-tagal ng panahon, may mga panahon ba na dumating yung mga challenges sa buhay mo na talagang feeling mo, Lord, dito gusto mo pa ba talagang nasa praise and worship team ako? Yung mga panahon na yon na super na challenge ka, and what, if you can, pwede mo bang i-share yung mga talagang nag-try tumibag ayan ng pagiging praise and worship team member.
Yes. Chi, this is not a secret to you. And I guess one of the very, how do you call this? Like what I said, roller coaster yung relationship ko with the
Yes.
Lord and also my music ministry. It wasn't so easy. For a long time, of course, parang it was a steady monotone na parang parang okay lang. But then somehow, it comes to a point in our lives where you are being put to test. And for me, during that time, yung inatake was my relationship with my my co-Christians here and in PCC. So somehow, it was hard for me dealing with it kasi pag relationships na, it's very, very hard for me to deal with relationships.
Yes.
So, it took me a while. It took a lot of guts for me to actually to step down, to take a break. Chi. Kasi, ang tawag nito, I know it would be hard without the Lord. I know na I cannot do it without God.
Yes.
Pero,
But it doesn't mean na you have to, parang sinacrifice mo yung ministry mo. Doesn't mean like that.
no, it's not really like that. Pero, parang gano'n na rin eh. Parang gano'n na rin yung nangyari. Pero, during that time, when I had too much confusion. I was hurt, but I didn't know if I'm sure I have also hurt other people. I was so confused. I couldn't see myself worthy of standing on stage because I had hatred in my heart. I was questioning people. I was questioning people's relationship with the Lord, my relationship with the Lord. So, sino ako to stand on stage if I had that kind of feeling? Sabi nga ni Ate Marvic would always say, if you're the worship leader or parte ka ng isang team eh. So if the pinky is hurting, the whole body can feel it. So I thought that if I would continue to be like this, I would affect the whole team.
Alright,
And
so
it might crumble the whole team down.
Alright. Nung mga panahon na yun yung iniisip mo,
Yes.
kaya hindi ka, parang you took a break, kaya ka nag-break muna.
Yes,
sa ministry.
that's why I took a break. Sabi ko, that's why I told you and then the rest that I'm just taking a break because I know in my heart that I cannot live without God. That I cannot do things without the Lord. So, that's why I was thinking, I'm just gonna take a break, see things from a different perspective. Parang ganyan ba? To learn, siguro. And somehow, it might not have been a very, very good break, pero I've learned a lot of things. I've learned to deal with myself and also parang to be more mature. Kasi I've always thought I'm mature eh. Sa totoo lang. I thought, mature na ako, ganyan. But then I realized, no, I wasn't. And that experience was how do you call that? Parang, it was a click, parang ganyan from the Lord na, hey, Julie, this is for you so you can learn This is how you mature.
Alright.
You're not yet mature, parang ganyan.
Alright. So, ano yung mga, ah, di ba, sabi ko pa nga kanina, you were shaken those times. Pero, ano yung pinaka, parang wake up call mo kay Lord na, uy, balik na. Balik ka na.
It was a series of different it was a series of different Sunday service messages
Alright.
from Pastor Cito,
Yes.
from Ate Nancy, a different also advices from my friends. But it was also a constant or a conscious effort from myself. Because sa totoo lang, Chi, it was hard. It was very hard. Parang yung all these messages, all these sermons, all this talk and prayer with the Lord, they're telling you, go back already.
Yes.
You can't do things on your own. It's better to be with the Lord. The only satisfaction and fulfillment in life is with God. You can't find any fulfillment in the world. But whenever Saturday comes and you want to you want to go back for practice, you would think, nakakahiya, I don't want to go back, parang ganyan, or I'm tired, or what would these people think about me? And then you would suddenly think na, why are you even concerned about what they think? You're not being mature again.
Yes.
But you and as we are, we always think na, talagang nakakahiya. Parang ganyan. What will they think about me coming back? Would they still accept me back in the worship team? There's always those apprehensions.
So, how did you overcame those negativities?
Yung parang, I just ate everything up. Parang I don't care anymore. Parang ganyan. Yung aabot ka rin sa panahon na, Julie, you're done being foolish and tama na yung pagiging drama queen, parang ganyan ba? Tama na mga, how do you call that? Tama na yung mga maraming concerns. Because like what we talked about earlier, it's not about me anyway. It's about God.
With all the challenges that you have faced, naging mahirap ba talaga sa'yo to be parang to stay in the praise and worship team?
Yes, it was hard. It's just like what you said, I actually considered going to another church to just be a church goer and not be in the ministry. But every time, actually, it was a good help for me. Actually, when I went for different services in another church, kasi it somehow helped me.
Yes.
Kasi when I was already there singing, I was crying and I would say, I missed this. I should be there on stage. Parang ganyan. And I knew it was a good place because wherever God is worshipped, God is there, di ba? I know it was a good place for me to be, how do you call this, to grow in. Pero I know that God has called me in this place rin for worship. So, it taught me a lot of things. And it was hard. It was hard to continue being in the worship service because of my work, because of the past na mga problems and past feelings, past messed up relationships.
Yes.
So, I thought I could never go back anymore.
So what made you stay?
Yun nga, it's more of God pa rin.
Alright.
It's more of saying na, Julie, actually, I guess I got burnt out at work rin, and all I could think of during the pandemic was there's only full satisfaction and full joy, genuine joy, and full, completeness in the presence of God.
Wow.
Because what kept me going during the years na I took a break was that the worship songs, ganyan. And I was also thinking of, there was a messed up relationship, but I was also thinking of the relationship before that. That I should, I should try to make sure to, how do you call this? To mend it, to keep it,
Alright.
because God gave it to me.
Wow.
Oo. So, kailangan, I should take care of it. Sabi, yung pinaka, sa akin, I guess was that the Lord told me, Julie, you were older. Parang ganyan. You're supposed to understand.
Alright.
You're supposed to, to be the bigger person. Parang ganyan, Bachi. And then, it was just incomplete. On a Saturday, when after being so tired at work, I get to rest. Sa totoo lang, I get to rest. Pero I know it was incomplete. That I was not singing. That on Sundays, I just come here to worship, pero I'm not part of the music team. It was very, very incomplete. I feel so empty.
Yes.
And there's a side of me that is unfulfilled, na hindi kumpleto.
Wow.
Oo, so I know that it was in church where I will find it. So bahala na the different obstacles, bahala na the different struggles. Continue to go forward in the
Wow.
Lord.
So, as a praise and worship team, specifically as a worship leader, what were your realizations all this time with all the challenges, with all the comebacks na kumbaga nangyari sa buhay mo? Siguro major realization lang. Kasi ang dami ring mga worship leaders na siguro perhaps may mga challenges din. And for you as a worship leader, ano yung realizations o major realizations na nangyari or nagkaroon ka with all these ups and downs sa pagiging in the service?
I guess it's the most important is your relationship with God.
Alright.
Kasi, I started very young. And sabi ba nga ni Ate Marivic, when I was younger, kailangan maglaba muna ako before I could come to church,
Yes.
so that I could practice. And there was a lot of struggles. My mother, who's now a Christian of course, would persecute me and would tell me, malapos kat langit, darat pag adto ka la piramiha simbahan,
Yes.
parang ganyan. And it was hard. No one actually supported me when I was younger, when I was serving the Lord. And I grew up at church. I grew up here in church, just serving God from when I was young until nag-high school, until nag-college, until basically when I was already working, ganyan. And then here comes a problem, and then nawala ka. Ganyan, you took a break.
Yes.
And then during those years, my realization, after everything was done, or was over and done, my realization is that nothing really matters more than your relationship with the Lord. That your work would ano ka lang eh, how do you call that? You're just getting too exhausted with work. You get hurt rin in your family.
Yes.
Your the expectations about you would fail. Your youth could fade away.
Yes.
We're not so young anymore. Your intelligence would fail you. Your talent would fail you. The people around you can fail you. Your friends may not always be there for you.
Yes.
Even your family may not always be there for you. But God is. God is. And it was amazing that you know how sinful you were, and how much you messed up. Parang how much you have caused God so much pain. But then the Lord loves you unconditionally. When I was on a break, my Ate Raylene, who's a good friend of mine, told me, Julie, there's nothing you can do that would make God love you less. And there's nothing that you can do as well that would make God love you more. Because God loves you just the same, enough. So it was reassuring. It was reassuring that I don't need anything else. I just need the Lord in my life.
Wow. So from, kung balikan natin yung perspective mo nung bata ka pa, why you did join the praise and worship team, and comparing it ngayon, if I were to ask you, why will you join the praise and worship team in your perspective now?
It's because I guess I would join the worship team right now, and I chose to join because God is here. Because it's here where I find my purpose in life. Kasi di ba, most of the time, people would look for their purpose.
Yes.
People would look for complete joy, for happiness, for fulfillment. And people wouldn't find it anywhere. Kasi when you know, in my workplace, I thought I would take up my master's because I need this kasi kailangan ma-promote. And I guess, what's this? You need your master's so that you can prove to people that you're gaining knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
O paulit-ulit, parang ganyan. But the reality is, at the end of the day, you would ask yourself, why am I even doing this? What's the purpose of my life?
Yes.
Parang ganyan. And then, hindi ka makontento. After masters, there's still doctors. After that, you can still go forward to another things. And I thought, this is not what I want my life to be. I don't want my life to be a constant struggle every day, Chi. I just want my life to be happy while serving the Lord. Ganyan. So, I chose to be part of the worship team because this is where my heart beats fast. So, I know that God calls me here. This is my calling. That, sabi ko nga, Lord, every time I sing, I imagine that I am embracing you. And I know that you love to listen to me sing. That I know that you find happiness whenever I sing praise to you. And there was one time when my grandmother was inanay ba, when she was already on her last breath. Kasi it was my nanay who brought me naman to church and to the different Sunday schools and daily vacation Bible schools. When nanay was on her last, how do you call that? Last na hinga siguro. I was singing worship to her. Sa tenga niya, next to her ear. I was singing praise and worship, and my nanay was crying so much, and during that time I did not even yet consider going back to the Lord, to the ministry. But I knew that it was also her prayer for me to go back. So what is this? I can only believe in my heart na it was through our worship, through our praise. It's not just about singing at Chiha because you know, anything that you do, whether it's just cleaning, whether it's whatever it is, diba? Whether it's clapping, whether it's coming to church, it's an act of worship. So we find God, we find fulfillment, we find our life and our testimony in God alone.
If you are to share, last na to, Chi. Baka kita pakawalan.
Go, because this is getting longer.
if you are to share your life song, ayan.
Life song?
Yung parang song na talagang, sabi mo pa nga, with all those times, talagang sinallenge ka sa ministry mo in your service sa Lord. Ano yung song na yun? And can you sing with us? That's for us, that song. Talagang nagpakapit sa'yo kay Lord.
I have so much favorite worship songs. There's just really a lot of worship songs that I love.
Yes.
During the time when I was on break, there was one song na I really love by Thea Smith. It's Whole Heart. I could sing you some of the
Yes, please.
Actually, it says, lift it up. And my knees know it's all for your glory, that I might stand with more reason to sing than to fear. You pulled me from the grave, set me on a rock, call me by your name, make my heart whole again. That's it. Because I needed my heart to be whole again.
Wow. Wow. All right, what a journey, Chi.
Yes.
So thank you for just sharing everything that you have shared. I know hindi madali, but I believe, tawag nito, you have moved on already and you are now in the parang next chapter na naman ng service mo kay Lord.
Yes.
And thank you for doing this interview.